guys. Uh, Sorry I look like crap, but I feel like crap. I did go to my job thing today, but it was not what I thought it was. And also because I thought I was doing the photography part, but apparently you kind of have to work every single job that's needed. You could be a helper at one, in a couple hours, photography, another couple hours, whatever. And also they wanted me to work every day until Christmas, and I can't do that. That is not like a smooth sailing, easy way to get back into, the job market, which I, haven't done for a very long time. So that sucks. But I'm going to go to the Department of Rehab. I'm going to call them tomorrow. Orientation will be Monday. That's when they'll talk about all the stuff they can do for me. What I'm really hoping is that sometimes they'll pay for your schooling, depending on what it is. I'm really, really hoping that they'll pay for me to do a graphic design program, because I think that'd be really good for me, because I'm really arts and craftsy, artistic, and I'm also, what was I gonna say? Oh, and also, technically, if you're a graphic designer, you technically don't really have to go to an office every day. You can work from home. So I think that that's a pretty good deal. So I'm really hoping that that will happen. Also, in this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about Tourette syndrome and how it manifests in me. Sorry, computer. How it manifests in me, how it how there are misconceptions. There are a lot of misconceptions, and how I deal with telling people about it. So since I knew since I was, in 4th grade that they diagnosed me with that, but I didn't really know what it was, and I didn't pay attention. There's only been 2 times in my life where I've said any words. One of the misconceptions of Tourette syndrome is that everyone with Tourette syndrome is like, fuck shit, balls, tits, stuff like that. Which is not the case. There's only 10% of people with Tourette syndrome have that coprolalia. It's a 10-point word there. So when I was in 4th grade and stuff, how it manifested for me was I would say the word squishy all the time. Now, it's very random. Very, very fucking random. But it's my brain is in charge of my Tourette's. It's a neurological disorder. So I don't get a choice in what my tics are. And you can get verbal tics, and you can get physical tics. For instance, I grind my teeth a lot, and I don't know that I do that, and I used to have a huge problem with my TMJ because of it, and then I got it fixed, and I was fine, but now, lately, in the past couple of weeks, it's come back, and I really don't want to have to go back to wearing a freaking night guard and just bullshit like that. And so a verbal tic would be, unfortunately now, I do have coprolalia. I've developed it within the last year, and I never wanted it because obviously that really sucks being in public, needing to say a certain word, especially a swear word, and having people overhear you. And then they're kind of let's move a couple tables away from this person, if you're going somewhere to eat or something. So So yeah, so my word now is bitches, and I hate it, and I say it all the time. I usually say it under my breath if I'm around people. If I'm by myself, I just let it all loose. I do all my tics, and I'm totally fine. It does not bother me, except for the bitches' new, addition to my roster of tics. I've also, a big thing I do is I hum or I sing, and I don't know that I'm doing that. The last treatment center I went to, there was this lady there that was there for treatment, and she was a real grouch, but like I loved her because of it. But we were like walking together one day, and I guess I was humming something. I didn't know what. I don't know when I do stuff a lot of times. And she was like, "Stop humming," and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was doing it. It's one of my tics for my Tourette's." And she was like, "No, you can control it." And that really pissed me off, because you can control your Tourette's to an extent. Like what I used to do when I went to school and stuff is what you can do, and this is kind of interesting, is you can bottle up all of the tics that your brain is telling you to do, and you can kind of bottle them, but they have to be let go at some time. So at school, I would like right after school, once I got home, I would just go to my room, and it would just be like a barrage of tics. Like I would just go crazy, just doing every single tic that I, tried really hard not to do in high school, because, when I was in high school, I didn't tell anyone that I had Tourette's, because it's very stigmatized. And but then when I got out of high school and stuff, I realized that sometimes in some situations that it is necessary to tell people. Like, for instance, when I go to my Disorder Anonymous meetings, when it's like my turn to speak, kind of, I usually, unless, I'm with other people in the group that I already know, that I've already seen in groups before, but I will be like, hey, just a little disclaimer, you guys, I have Tourette syndrome, and if anything comes out of my mouth, or if I'm twitching or anything like that, I have a thing where I have to crack my toes and my fingers and stuff, that too, and that's very distracting for other people. So I just kind of do a disclaimer, and I only really tell people, again, when it needs to be told. So, I've told, boyfriends, girlfriends, I've told, my friends, I tell every treatment center I've been to, I've told, just because some of the tics that come along with Tourette syndrome can be confused with others, with psychiatric issues. For example, when I say bitches and stuff, I'll just be like, bitches, 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 bitches. And from a psychological standpoint, if you didn't know someone had Tourette's and was doing that, you would probably think that they were probably talking to themselves, or talking to someone who's not there. Basically, I don't know if that makes sense. You might be put into a category of, oh, she might have some delusions, and she's talking to people that aren't there, stuff like that. So, so I try to tell them, and, of course, therapists and psychiatrists and stuff. There are medications that you can take for Tourette syndrome. one of the main ones is Haldol. I am deathly allergic to that. So, whatever. But the majority of medications you can take for Tourette's have horrendous side effects. So, I have never been on any medication for Tourette's, except the one time I tried Haldol, and then my face and throat puffed up, and I had to go to the emergency room and stuff like that. So, and I don't mind having it. I've had it for so long that I'm just like, okay, whatever. And, my friends are pretty much like, okay, whatever. Even though I still do the whole bottling up and letting it out later kind of thing. I still do that a lot because, I don't have, there's a scale of how bad your Tourette's are. It can be, like, really, like, you can't, like you have, like, maybe 1 or 2 ticks, and you're just, nobody can really, figure it out. But that's what it is, that maybe you just have a weird quirk that you do every like, other day or something. That's what my brother has. He has it too. So his it's basically like he kind of doesn't have it anymore. But you never grow out of it. But it's just that his ticks don't come out anymore, really. And then there's the very, on the whole opposite side of that scale, where, there are people with coprolalia and they, yell things out. There are people who will hit themselves. There are people who will stop breathing and pass out. There are people that will yell things out no matter where they are, even like a movie theater or something. Stuff like that. Things that can cause you problems. There are also, some ticks that can really not be good for your physical health. Again, like the not breathing thing and passing out thing. One of mine is I tend to crack my neck a lot. I tend to kind of like do, with stuff with my neck, and I have chronic pain in my neck. So already from a previous car accident years ago. So it really aggravates that. And that really sucks. Because it's like, yeah, I'll go through physical therapy. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, I'll do that. When it comes down to it, I still, on a daily basis, aggravate my injury. And I don't have control over that. So that sucks. Yeah, and usually when I tell people, especially like doctors of any kind, about my Tourette's, they will immediately ask, oh, what do you do? What's the stuff that you do? And blah, blah, blah. I hate when people ask me that. Because then I'm on the spot, and I'm just like, well, I grind my teeth, I hum sometimes, my eyes twitch. Sometimes, like, I'll say, now I have, like, a new fun word I use all the time, and, I just have to, like, list them off. But I hate doing that, because it's like, it's none of their business. It's like, yes, I have Tourette's, but it has nothing to do with why I'm seeing a doctor. The only time where that would ever, really warrant me to give an answer would be if I go to a neurologist for something or other, and then they'll need to know, because neurologists are the people you go to get diagnosed for Tourette syndrome. But I hate when people ask. Oh my god, it just drives me freaking insane. Yeah, it's horrible. It just puts me on the spot, and I'm just like, I don't want to tell you. And it, again, I only tell people when it feel that it is necessary. You know, because I'll be hanging out with people on notice, blah, blah, blah. But with doctors, it's kind of just like, what is the point of me telling you? It's not anything to worry about. Don't worry about. It's not your business. It's really not their business. It's not. Except for neurological doctors, obviously. So that's basically, I mean, my story with Tourette's. Over, you know, the how many or so years that since I've been diagnosed, it's gone up and down with the severity of my tics. I do take Adderalls. Stimulants of any kind exaggerate Tourette's symptoms, like their tics, exponentially. Which is why when I first started seeing psychiatrists and stuff and was like, hey, I have really bad ADD, can I please get on something for it? They would say no, because you have Tourette syndrome, and it would make it worse. And that pissed me off, because it's like, well, it's my life. I am the one that's going to have to deal with that, not you. And if I feel that it's more beneficial for me to take ADD medication so that I can function in the world. It's hard for me to function without it because my ADD is just that bad. That I feel that the negatives do not outweigh the positives for stuff like that. So that's one of the things. And like depressants, as you know, like anti-anxiety medications or painkillers, or just any kind of depressant medication, it helps it not be as bad. Because obviously, you know, stimulants make it worse, so the opposite is going to make it not as bad. Which, you know, is just kind of how that works. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it. I think I'm going to actually make a video, like, right after this video of, like, a poem or two that I have written. Because I'd like to just, like, it's easier for me to explain how I'm feeling through arts, through any kind of arts. So anyway, I will see you at the next video I'm gonna make, like, right now. Alright, bye guys.